Hello and welcome to the reflection number 2. This week we'll be discussing week 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's start off with week 5. 6 people were killed by a suicide bombing. 2 of them were American CIA agents. The other 4 people were Afghanistan intelligence officers, part of NATO. The suicide bomber was disguised in an Afghan uniform, and there have been more than 50 U.S. and NATO members killed this year in this kind of fashion. What do you have to say about this?
Well, yeah, it's a growing trend where people we have supposedly trained to be Afghan security forces that were supposed to hand off the security of the country to them by 2014 are now turning around and almost acting as double agents and killing Americans. And the fact that they kill other Afghans is just very typical of the terrorist activity. Suicide bombings all over the world kill innocent people and kill Muslims by other Muslims acting out jihad. What do I think about it? I don't think we really have. I don't think we've accomplished much in the nation. I don't think that we're wanted there. I don't think our presence helps in any way anymore. The country, Afghanistan, is a very backward country, but a country very rich in minerals. They've never lost in a war. They've never been beaten by a country. It's very rugged terrain. We're there, I think, primarily because they border Pakistan. And Pakistan is a nuclear power that is always ready to go to war with India. And I just think that because of the areas surrounding Afghanistan, that's why we're there. I don't think being there helps us in any way. We don't have any particular interest in the country itself.
Obama wants to pull out of Afghanistan. That's what he's trying to do right now.
Right. We're going to try to end the war, which has been close to 10 years ongoing, and they were in war with over 10 years with Russia before that. And Russia pulled out and lost. They didn't either. It's a sinkhole. It's a quagmire, and more guys will die at the hands of people we're supposed to train before the end of 2014. So I just think it's we're trying to get out of there in as smooth a possible way, but nothing's really been accomplished there.
All right. Well, week 6, Iran denied allegations that they were suspending the uranium development of 20% grade uranium weapons. And this was taken from a misquote from Muhammad Asafari, who was misunderstood when he said that Iran is prepared to temporarily stop the uranium development. He came out and corrected himself and the other people. What do you want to say about that?
I think Iran is working as fast and as hard as it can to develop a nuclear weapon. I think everything that they say is meant to slow down any process of us stopping that. They act like they're gonna negotiate, and then they step back. They say things like we're suspending it, and then they say, oh, that was a mistake. I used the wrong word. None of it's believable. The truth is they're building a bomb. They're going to build a bomb. And the only question is, what do you do about it? Do you stop them by military action and stop them by blowing up their centrifuges and plants and slow them down from actually attaining the bomb? Do you do what we're doing now, which is take the money out of their economy with sanctions so that the people uprise and say this isn't the way we want to go? Or do you just let them build the bomb?
Yeah, and then we can try to work it out so that they don't use it. Like
well, here's the question. Most people that back Israel and most people that in the United States will say that Iran is kind of crazy, that giving them nuclear power will that they would blow people up. They would use it. Well, Israel has a nuclear weapon, right? Pakistan and India have nuclear weapons. Britain has nuclear weapons. We have nuclear weapons. Russia has nuclear weapons. Poland has nuclear weapons, I think. China has nuclear weapons. It's sort of, the reason we don't, we're the only country that ever used a nuclear weapon, the United States, in Japan at the end of World War II. No other country's ever used it offensively against another nation. The reason is that, since then, is that if they were to bomb, send a nuclear bomb into Israel, Israel could send 10 more nuclear bombs into them. And so whoever shoots a nuclear bomb off first is just guaranteed to be destroyed. Or we would do it. We'd retaliate. So that's the whole policy that came up in the Cold War was called MAD, Mutually Assured Destruction. Meaning that no one would ever fire a nuclear weapon because the firing of a nuclear weapon would ultimately mean they would be destroyed. So the Iranians, while they're a theocracy, and Ahmadinejad says crazy things, and he doesn't believe in the Holocaust, and he says all these horrible things, pretty much you can be pretty much assured that he doesn't want to kill himself or vaporize his whole country by taking a rash action. So I don't know. They might, because they are not good actors in the world stage. They might use a nuclear weapon, but if they did, they would most assuredly be destroyed. And so that's the reason why you would think that, they want to have a bomb, not to use it probably. They want to have a bomb to promote their superiority in the region, to make them an influential player in the region.
Yeah. Well, moving on to week 7. In Syria, there was a ceasefire peace treaty between the president, a temporary ceasefire between the rebels and the president of Syria. But since the peace treaty was put in place, more than 500 deaths have occurred in that area. Both parties are accusing each other of breaking the treaty, and now they're just fighting with each other. And it's a horrible situation down there.
I think that I can't really say I know enough about this, but it seems to me that the politics of Syria and its relationship with all the other Arab countries and the Western countries, allies like Israel of ours, is such that nobody wants to go in and militarily stop this. Any one of the surrounding countries in coordination with us or Israel could go in and pick a side and destroy the other side, but nobody's doing that. And in the absence of anybody taking a leading role like that, they're just going to keep killing each other. More than likely what will happen is someone like us or through intermediary countries, we will supply arms and eventually supply arms that will tip the balance of power into the rebels. But I don't think any more overt activity is going to happen because of the politics, but I don't know the politics very well.
All right, moving on to the final week, week 8. Libya continues to be an unsafe area as rival militias fight each other. In this last attack, there were 5 wounded, and there was also a car bomb that hurt 3 officers. It's just a continuation of a situation that's been going on for a while now.
Well, the only thing I would say about Libya, and it's sort of true in the other Arab nations that have Egypt is another good example. Their bordering country. Now that the dictators, the long-standing horrible dictators like Gaddafi and I can't remember his name now, but
it just seems like
now that they're gone, yeah, there are various groups of political blocs inside those countries fighting against each other to become the major influence on the new governments in those countries. it's a militaristic area, you know, it's gonna be violent in some cases. And there's very little we can do to influence it, and probably there isn't really any good reason for us to interfere. It's their country. Unless there was some national interest of ours, which, you know, is arguable, I suppose. They're oil-producing nations. But
Thank you for watching.
thank you.